All right, let's introduce the main panel this morning. We're very pleased to welcome our own senior political editor, Sophie Mokoena, as well as media specialist, Mr. Tebogo Detsejo. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Alicia.
All right, and of course, for the big hashtags of this week, this segment, we're joined by our very own SABC Multimedia Producer, Mr. Neo Motloung. Neo, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Alicia.
Let's kickstart the program. What was big in terms of digital media this week? What's this all about?
This one is paid Twitter. During the week, allegations came out that certain influencers on social media were paid to influence voters on social media. There are a number of people who are implicated, but they've distanced themselves from the allegations. We have Shaka Sisulu, who said no. He has worked with Sihle Balani, but did not do anything devious during the local elections this year. But when we moved to Twitter, the topic itself reached close to 400 people on Twitter. That's how big it was.
It was quite a big topic.
It was a big topic.
What are they saying on Twitter now?
This tweet, basically. I mean, people are saying, pay Twitter. Amazing how Sihle, who lodged a complaint with the High Court, is seen as a victim, yet she provides a service that shocks society. So people are turning against her, even though saying, okay, the whole time you are going to receive that alleged money.
Black Twitter is so unforgiving also.
Black Twitter is very unforgiving. This other tweet reads, Sihle Balani needs to be charged along with ANC Kunis and Shaka for conspiracy to undermine the election process. So people are saying, you know, if it is true, this should happen to them.
Mom Sophie, what do you make of these allegations?
Well, I think let's start with the concept of the war room. It's not new. It has been happening. All political parties have what they call war room, because this is the structure they put to prepare for elections, but also during the elections, so that they can monitor and track the trends in terms of how many stories were covered on their campaigns, or what are they doing, whether the message is reaching the people, and how they can improve their messaging. But the problem is when you do unlawful things. People must account, the law must take its course, but people must give the process of the law a chance so that the courts can pronounce. And therefore, whoever is found wanting or fingered in this whole thing, or responsible for perhaps breaking the Electoral Act, they must account, irrespective of their standing in the society. It cannot be the politicians only in this case, but also the people who provided those services that undermines the electoral process. If it's true, Sihle was involved, she must account. And of course, the people who engaged her to provide these services must account. But the Secretary General of the ANC has already distanced the ANC.
Yeah, it seems like nobody wants to take responsibility.
Now, but at the end of the day, if the matter goes to court, the truth will come out. And political parties, the oppositions, have already indicated that they are going to lodge a complaint with the Electoral Court and the IEC. The truth will come out.
Tebogo, what do you make of all this confusion? I mean, we don't even know who to believe at this stage.
Well, with social media, there's nothing wrong with contacting influencers, people with a lot of influence, to be ambassadors for your campaigns.
Yeah.
You'll understand that they've got an audience, perhaps you have an interest in their audience, and perhaps those demographics speak to the audience that you're trying to reach. And so if they're looking to reach that audience, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem comes when you now want to defame the character of other organizations. So if you want to put up a poster which misrepresents another political party, that's illegal. So you can go and be found guilty of defamation of character. They can put up a civil lawsuit, and it's also a criminal offense. And so people must be very careful. When you're a communication specialist, you don't need to buy people, in order to defame the character of other people or to get compliments.
But also, if you are a big organization like the ANC, you don't have to engage in dirty tricks, because you are a governing party. You have to set an example. That is why it is important for parties such as the DA and the ANC in particular, because they are in control of certain spheres of government, to always act in a very responsible manner, because they are leading certain spheres of government, and they must lead by example.
All right, now quickly take us through to the next one.
The next one has to be the Grace Bible Church.
Again in the news.
It's again in the news because last week apparently there was a sermon that allegedly was discriminative towards gay people, but the poll reads, what do you think of churches that preach against homosexuality in 2017, Democratic South Africa? The options that we gave was just following scriptures, which 63% said just follow the scriptures, while you have 22% that says it's unconstitutional, and then you have 15% that says I'm not into church. So people saying really they do not care about what happens in the church.
Has there been some tweets there? What have you
the
got
odd
there?
tweets
I'm very
that we
keen to
have.
hear what people are saying.
This one by Tepi, so hashtag Grace Bible Church. Pastors are hypocrites. It reads, and they must fall. The Gable pastor, Motsechi, Kolani, and their wives. Okay, we can move on from this tweet. Then we have this other tweet. The same Grace Bible Church condemns Exodus 22 verse 14, thou shalt not commit adultery but offenses on homosexuality. That's what they're saying, that the church has certain standards, and people are engaging with that. I think as one of the pastors came out who was speaking on Morning Live saying it was a discourse around the topic, and it has really opened a discourse on social media.
Yeah, I want to hear from you, Tebogo. What do you make of this? I mean, the issue of religion, again, comes back to the fore.
It's a very sensitive topic when you're discussing religion because everyone is entitled to their beliefs.
True.
And it does a lot to organize society and to uplift society. And so we shouldn't necessarily say that the religion in itself should be condemned. But I think the problem comes when the religion does not adjust to the norms and standards of society. We also have to respect that we have a constitution, we have laws, and we have ethics, we have cultures. All those need to be respected. And so you need to find a way in order to modernize your religion to fit society.
All right, now we're almost out of time. Let's take the next one, and Mum Sophie will have a go at it.
The last one is Rest in Peace Lundi, our gospel star pastor.
News this week.
Passed away. He was at the age of 38. This map just illustrates the countries that he was trending in. It's South Africa, it's part of the South Americas and the United States, and he was also trending in the UK and some parts of the Northern Europe.
Very interesting. What are they saying on Twitter?
I mean, on Twitter, people were shocked. I mean, one person said, I used to cry every time I listened to your music growing up. Actually, it's this tweet saying, I remember growing up, I used to cry every time I listened to his songs. His music changed many souls. And the other one says, your songs have healed a lot of people. May it do the same to you, brother. I mean, these are some of the tweets that are coming through.
I think we have more tweets on this one.
Yeah, we have more tweets.
There's David Kumar.
We have this one by David Kumar saying, rest in peace, Luli. Grew up listening to his music. My deepest condolences to his family and friends.
All right, let's see the other one. It says, Mphefumlo wam wophelelaphi ngezinhlungu zalo mhlaba. Rest in peace. That is the title song of his multi-award-winning song there. Mphefumlo wami wophelelaphi. Again, kwezinhlungu zalo mhlaba. Ilanga lami seliyashona. Nkosi yami nguwe owaziyo. That's just a quote from the verse there. Mum Sophie, what do you want to say there?
Yes, indeed, a great loss. He was very young, he was talented, and he was loved by many, not only in South Africa but outside the borders, particularly on the continent. And indeed, may his soul rest in peace. And the last time I saw him, if my memory serves me well, it was during Mama Winnie's birthday at Emperor's Palace. He was there. He was part of many artists who were there, who were to render items for the birthday.
All right, well, that's where we leave it now. Thank you so much for joining us. Do tell us something. I think you have something to tell us about fake news before we go.
No, that was part of the page Twitter. I mean,
awesome
there are so many accounts that came out going against certain members of the governing party that are not true, so people need to look out for that.
All right, give us that URL before we go.
Okay, you can catch us www.sabc/news. Our YouTube is also at SABC Online.
All right, that's where you're going to find all the stories we've been discussing here and more. Let's take a quick ad break. And